morning, boys and girls, and welcome to Preschool Story Time with Miss Natalie. I'm so happy to see all of your smiling faces today, and I cannot wait to share my theme for the week with you. Can you guess what it is by looking at the pictures of the books I have? Do you think it's about animals? Because there's a lot of animals. Do you think it's about the sky? What do you think it's about? If you think the beach, then you would be right. Today our theme is all about the beach. So, before we start, let's sit in our stretches and let's stretch high, lean, and lean the other way, and come down, touch our toes, and stick our hands back up, and roll our wrists, and clap our hands, and place them in our laps. And let's get ready to hear a story about a curious monkey named George who goes to the beach. This is George. He lives with his friend, the man with the yellow hat. He was a good little monkey and very curious. Today, the man had a surprise for George. He took George to the beach. They found a spot on the warm sand, then another surprise. George saw his friend Betsy. "Look, Betsy," her grandmother said, "it's Curious George." But Betsy did not even smile. She had never been in the ocean before. She was scared. "I know you're a good swimmer," the man told her. "You'll be fine once you get in the water." Betsy felt better and walked to the shore. George helped spread the beach blanket and set aside their lunch. He was looking forward to a picnic, but it was not time to eat. It was time to play. George learned a new game, dug in the sand, made new friends. Monkeys are great at making friends. And when he took a break, he watched the lifeguard in his special chair that sometimes blew a whistle. And sometimes he looked through binoculars. It looked like fun to be a lifeguard, and George was curious. Could he be a lifeguard? Before long, the lifeguard took a break. Here was George's chance. Watching the crowd from up in the special chair, George felt like a lifeguard. And there was a lot to see on the beach. He looked through the binoculars and saw seagulls flying and Betsy on the shore. She'd still have been in the water. Then the lifeguard saw George. "Hey," he yelled, "that's no place for a monkey." Now, George thought it was a fine place for a monkey, but he did not want to cause trouble, so he climbed down. Back at the beach blanket, George was hungry. No one would miss one cracker, he thought. He took it out and put it on a napkin. Now, if only he had cheese. Uh-oh, what happened to his cracker? Well, he would just have to get a new one. George found another cracker, then turned back around. Now his cheese was gone. Who could be taking his snack? George was curious. He put down his cracker and he waited. Oh, a sneaky seagull was taking his treats, and the seagull was still hungry. George took out another cracker and the bird took it out of his hand. What fun to feed a seagull. George saw more seagulls by the water. Betsy was there too. George was curious. Were those seagulls hungry? They were hungry. Soon a whole flock had gathered, and Betsy and George fed them together. They fed them crackers, cookies, a cake, and even the bread for sandwiches. And the birds were still hungry. But George reached for more food and the basket was gone. He and Betsy were having so much fun, they didn't notice the tide coming in. That means that the water comes higher and higher on the shore. Maybe you've seen it at the beach here. They didn't notice the picnic basket floating out to sea. When George didn't mean to lose the basket, he felt bad. Could there be a way to catch it? He thought and thought, and then he remembered the lifeguard. He was no lifeguard, but he knew what to do. He found a float, carried it to the water, and began to paddle. He paddled a little further and further and further until he reached the basket, and Betsy cheered. Then as George paddled back to the beach, she swam out to meet him. Everyone was glad to see George safe on the shore. The lifeguard who had seen everything from his chair said, "That was some rescue," and George felt proud. The man with the yellow hat picked up the basket, and he was curious. "Is this our basket, George?" he asked. Poor George, that basket was empty. There would be no picnic on the beach, and it was his fault. Then Betsy's grandmother said, "Won't you join us for lunch? We have plenty, and look, now we have a reason to celebrate thanks to George." They did have a reason. Betsy was in the water, and she wasn't scared anymore. She was having fun. After everyone joined Betsy and George for a swim, it was time to eat at last. There were sandwiches, chips, bananas, cookies, and watermelon. There was plenty for everyone, and even a little for guests. George is a brave monkey to feed seagulls. When I fed seagulls when I was a little girl, they chased me all around the beach. So I don't feed them anymore. But these are much nicer seagulls than the seagulls that I met. I hope you liked that first story, boys and girls. And now it is time for us to learn a song about seashells. It's a counting song, so we're going to use our hands to count down from 5. We'll go through the song one time kind of slowly, and then we'll do it a second time faster. So pay attention. Let's get our hands up. Ready? 5 little shells lying on the shore. Crash went the waves, and then there was 4. 4 little shells down by the sea. Crash went the waves, and then there was 3. 3 little shells, smooth as new. Crash went the waves, and then there was 2. 2 little shells, sparkling in the sun. Crash went the waves, and then there was 1. 1 little shell, all by itself. I took it home and put it on my shelf. All right, boys and girls, are you ready to do it a little bit faster? Me too. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Get our 5 fingers. 5 little shells lying on the shore. Crash went the waves, and then there was 4. 4 little shells down by the sea. Crash went the waves, and then there was 3. 3 little shells, smooth as new. Crash went the waves, and then there was 2. 2 little shells, sparkling in the sun. Crash went the waves, and then there was 1. 1 little shell, all by itself. I took it home and put it on my shelf. Good job, boys and girls. I enjoyed that song with you so much. And now it is time for our second story. Which one do you think we're going to read? I'll give you a hint. It's a story about a big black dog named Sally. Our story is called Sally Goes to the Beach. Something is happening. I can feel it in the air. Then I see the suitcase. We are going away. We are going on vacation. We are going to an island in the ocean. We will take a ferry boat to get there. And the best part is, this is a real dog place. The island is even shaped like a dog. How crazy. We pack the car and drive to the ferry. We get on board. I meet lots of dogs. That is a lot of dogs. I see a bird. I see a boat. I even see a whale. Wow. I wonder where this island is. We're in the ocean. I do not see the captain, but I can imagine what he looks like. Soon it is time to go ashore. We share a cab to the cottage, unpack, and go straight to the beach. The sky is blue and the sun is hot. The air smells great, just like cat food. We play in the ocean. We ride in a boat. Then I go exploring. And I realize right away, I still have a lot to learn. I am having so much fun that I am sorry when the sun sets. That's a deep hole she's digging. Until I hear a can opener. I think that means it's time for dinner. After dinner, we do the dishes. And then it's time for bed. I cannot wait for tomorrow. Sally had a great day at the beach, and that place sounds like a great place to go because I love dogs. And if you love dogs, then there's something about watching dogs run around on the beach because they have so much fun and they are so happy. And now it is time for us to do some yoga. Before we do our yoga pose of the week, I want us to sit up nice and tall. We're going to practice our yoga breath in case we have new friends. Let's roll our shoulders up our ears. Ooh, down our back. That feels so good. Let's take one hand, two hands, put them together, press them to our hearts. Or you can take one hand, two hands, and use your pinchy fingers and pinch, whichever one you want to do. And ready? We're going to breathe in through our nose and out through our mouth. Breathe in through our nose and out through our mouth. Let's try that 3 more times. In, out, in, out. Last one. In, out. Good job, boys and girls. And now it is time to learn some yoga poses. I have 2 that I'm going to teach you today. So get ready, because these are standing poses. So I want everyone to stand up and get ready to learn. All right, boys and girls, the first pose we're going to learn is called mountain pose. And because any standing pose in yoga, you start in mountain. So you're going to take your feet, you're going to stamp them into the earth and let them stick, just like a mountain would. And your hands are going to come down, roll your shoulders down your back, and your hands are going to stick to your sides. And you're going to close your eyes, and you're going to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Good job, boys and girls. And now we're going to learn how to be palm trees, which are the kind of trees you find at a beach. So you're going to come up onto the tiptoes of one foot and turn that leg so you can push your heel. That's the bottom of your foot into the side of your leg. And your arms are going to come up, your fingers are going to spread wide, and you're going to make a little diamond shape with your arms. And then you're going to sway side to side, because palm trees sway in the wind when the ocean breeze blows them. And then your arms are going to come out, down, foot on the ground, and switch sides. So take the heel of your other foot and press it into the side of your leg. Your arms come up, your fingers wide, and make that diamond shape. And you're going to wave side to side, side to side. And arms wide, down. Stamp your foot into the ground to become a mountain pose. And then 1, 2, 3, sit back down. You did a great job with the yoga we did today, and with our song, and with reading our books and being such good listeners. And it's time for us to say goodbye. But before we say goodbye, let's say Namaste. Because remember, you say Namaste at the end of every class. And I want to thank you for being here, and you can thank me for being here with you today. So let's sit up tall, take one hand, 2 hands, clap them together, and press them right against where our heart is. And sit up nice and tall. And on the count of 3, we're going to bow our heads and say Namaste. 1, 2, 3. Namaste. I had so much fun sharing stories and songs and yoga with you today. I hope to see you next week for Preschool Story Time, and you can come and get these books from the library after story time today. They will be right at the children's reference desk. Now, when we say goodbye, we can say goodbye in English, goodbye, in Spanish, adios, or we can say goodbye in Italian. And to say that, you say ciao. So, on the count of 3, let's say goodbye however we want. 1, 2, 3, ciao. I'll see you next week for story time.